Welcome back, folks. Today we're going to be reloading some 45 Colt with a 200 grain cast hollow point mold. We're using Hodgdon 700X. We already have our primed cases here. They're sized and expanded. We've got our cases here. Remington Peters, Remington primers, case mouth expanded, ready to go. All we're going to do is add some powder and bullets. Then we have to crimp and we'll be good to go. So taking a look at my little chicken scratch data here, we just measured these. They're 212 grains. So we're going to check out our 200 grain load data because it's much closer than our 230 grain data. Anyways, I just loaded up some 205-ish with about 6 grains. So I'm going to try to aim for maybe 5.5 on the Uniflow here. I'm just going to give it a turn down and see where it ends up. But anything about 5.5 or under I'll be happy with. So once I get that set up and leveled out, we'll start throwing those. We just sized these to 452 in another video, so go and check that out. These are freaking sweet. MP, slick sided, no lube groove. Very nice. Anyways, 5-ish, 5.5 grains of 700X, and we're gonna get to it. So it's hard to tell, but our powder is maybe down to here-ish, and we are dialed in at 5 grains. I lied. We were doing a different load, so if I just dial that up a hair, we should be perfect, maybe 5.3 to 5.5-ish. And there's our little white dots on the 700X there. But we got our shell holder installed. Time to get our die up there for seating. I'll get out the dummy round. Actually, I don't have a dummy round for this one. Let me make one. Get our brass out first. This one has an X on the primer. What does that indicate? I forget. There was maybe one with a split on the neck, but I'm not seeing it here. But note the X on that primer. I think that was when I had pulled these. The previous round I marked as an X for whatever reason, so I could probably disregard that marking. Obviously our case looks just fine, so yeah, I'll keep that one and just know it has an X on it, I guess. Make a mental note. There we go. All right, let me get all these out and we'll set up a dummy round and then we'll dump some powder and go. I would just dump these out, but these are already loaded here with our 252 semi-wad cutter. So we got to pick them all out one at a time. I got big fat sausagey fingers, so that's fun. Okay, so I've got just an empty case here. We're gonna make a dummy round, just a spare piece of Winchester brass that didn't really go to a set. So what I like to do is I'm gonna run this up and then I'm gonna lower it until I feel the crimping feature engage and then come out like a half a turn so I know that I'm not crimping any of my cases. Get my fat hand out of the way. So there, it just touched the case mouth and then we'll back out maybe a whole turn or something. And then I'm not too worried about keeping that lock ring, locked on the die. So just give it a nice snugging up to the press there and then up top. Wow, way up top. We've got our seating stem. I need to break that loose. So now we can come out a little bit because I don't know what bullet I had last. So we want to make sure not to seat too deeply on our first pass. So we're not crimping and we're going to get one of these awesome bullets here. Let me get a cool one because this will be my dummy round. Oh yeah, look at that zombie green and orange and stuff. That's pretty neat. Let's go ahead and give this a try. Make sure we're sitting in there nice and square into our case mouth. And make sure our shell holder's not all turned like a dummy. All right. So So I don't think that touched anything. Yeah, we're moving the stem down. There's engagement with our projectile. So as you see, we haven't seated yet. Give it a nice turn because we know we're not anywhere near it. All right. I'm gonna bring that up just to right below that shoulder where the knee plat starts, or rather the ogive. Getting there, getting there. That's pretty close. Yeah, see right on that corner. I'm gonna get just a little closer to that, but really, that's probably good. I don't want to go too far, or if I have a case that's a little bit longer, we need just a little bit of breathing room there. And it looks like whatever seating stem I have in there, I think it's the flat one for the wad cutters, it does not look to be boogering up our hollow point there, so that's sweet. And this one will still need crimped, but I'll do that when we get to our crimping stage. So it looks like we're dialed in there. All we need to do is dial up our powder here, like I said. Let's give it a quarter turn, get that dialed in, and we'll be going. So whenever I'm resetting this, I'll just run it maybe 10 times to get everything settled and into its natural landing spot, if you will. And yeah, notice the one tap rather than the two I normally do. Just trying a different technique. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you do it the same every time. So I dialed it up from 5 grains. Let's see where we're at here. 5.6. I'm gonna come down just a hair actually. I wanna stay closer to 5 than to 6 because it's a slightly heavier bullet. And since I adjusted back here on the measurement, then we need to run it a few times to get it settled back in. All right, let's try 10 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 throws. Throw average of 5.65, 5.64. Still a little heavy, so we're going to come back in on that just a hair. So you know the drill. Let me get this dialed in and we'll be back with you. Ooh, we got caught. Usually with the flake powder, you might get hung up like that, like you saw me coming down and it got stuck. But with these small charges of only 5 grains, that doesn't seem to happen as often. But as you guys know, with the stick powder, or maybe like 10 or 20 grains of a flake, you'll get caught up way more often. Cool, there's 5.19 on the scale. I'll take that. We'll go with 5.2-ish for our charge. That sounds nice and safe. So let's get into loading up here. Alrighty, we're ready to throw our charge here. 5.19 grains. Let's check out our case fill. Yeah, you can barely see it because it's only just over 5 grains in this massive case. So it is important to always check your case fill there. And we'll go ahead and pre-seat our projectile so we're nice and square. All right, here we go. We'll run them up in one fell swoop. Beautiful. Yeah, these still need a crimp, but that looks mighty fine to me right there. We give it the nice shaker test. You can hear our powder in there. And if you think you missed a charge, like you're just cranking along, you get distracted, you think you missed a charge, you might have a squib. The shake test will tell you if you have powder. It won't tell you if you have a double charge though. So it's a good test if you think you missed one, but if you think you've double charged, that's not going to be very easy to tell without just pulling it and starting over. Yeah. Since I was blabbing there, I can't remember if I double charged that or not, so we'll dump it and start over. Yeah, that case fill is silly, but that's the charge weight. Good thing these really fast burning powders, it's pretty much a shotgun powder. They're better at being at such a low case fill, so I'm not super worried about it. I'm sure these will have, they'll ignite just fine. And you know, I love 700X. Great for 38 specials. You can make some light magnum loads. Great for 9mm. And one day whenever I start loading 12 gauge, I'll probably end up using it for that, because there's plenty of recipes for the 12 gauge and 700X. That means I'll have to find another source of lead to actually get shot, and I'll have to start casting buckshot. I've heard some of you guys say those Lee molds are a little finicky. You got to get them really hot to get those bottom, that last row of the buckshot to actually fill out. But I usually run my pot pretty hot anyways, and then you can rotate between 2 molds at a time. Get your production way going. Way up high there, tell you what. So anyways, we're not going to be doing any range time today, or probably anytime soon. But we're going to be loading here. It's nice and soothing. I don't mind doing the single stage loading at all, because I have my brass prepped and ready to go and primed. And all we have to do is dump the powder in the bullet. So it's not really like, I don't know. It's not like you start with 50 rounds from the range, pieces of brass, then you gotta size and trim and do the entire thing. It's just powder, bullet, seating, crimping, done. So that stuff on a single stage does not take too long. And you see me coming off screen here with the bullet. I'm just trying to line it up there so that we're as square as possible when we go to seat, that we don't get any scraping or anything like that. So yeah, just get them started. And we've used our RCBS dies, and their expander is pretty much like an M die, where at first we'll kind of open up a pocket, and then if you go down further, it'll start to bill out the mouth after that. So you can see the little kind of pocket it builds for your cartridge to hold your bullet, and then it'll flare it out at the top there. And fun fact, I'm pretty sure the RCBS and Lyman dies, those are pretty much interchangeable as far as the seating stems, the expanders, the sizing mandrels, that kind of stuff. Pretty sure the Lyman and RCBS are all interchangeable. Man, these look sweet. You gotta tell me what you did to these. Are they high-tech or powder coated? It looks like powder coating, but I don't know what colors you got there, man. Drop a comment down below, Mr. Hillbilly. He probably already told me. And you know, I'm a dummy, so I've already let that information slip out, you know, in one ear and out the other. Those freaking hollow points are wicked. I might not even have to shoot these. I'm just going to keep them to stare at them. So let me knock these out. We'll get on to crimping. So we just finished seating all of our bullets after we're dumping powder. Time to add that final crimp on there. We'll be good to go, fellers. Stay tuned. Turns out we've got a few bullets left. That's pretty sweet. I might just make a dummy round for the Bushmaster just because it looks cool, and then I'll maybe load up the last few here some other time. But for now, back into our baggie with our notes here. So very awesome. These look sweet. Thanks again, sir. Now it's time to pop out our our seating die here. Just takes a little bit to break that loose. Pull him out. Then we've got the 45 Colt Lee carbide factory crimp die. And the carbide factory crimp die, they have this carbide ring in the bottom here that actually helps size the body of your case down. In case your bullet was off tilt or something, you had a bulge on one side, it'll straighten your entire body out of your case, and that way you'll know you'll be able to function, slide in and out of your gun, into your chamber, into your cylinder, for whichever cartridge you're using it for. And this one is not the Colt style. This is a roll crimp, so it doesn't seem like we're going to have to give these too much because there's actually no crimping groove, but we do want to make sure we're not going to get any setback and also not distort the bullet at the same time. So the instructions say to come up until you hit your shell plate. I think we're pretty close already. Yeah, there's that. And we'll back out just a hair in case we were at a different setting last time. I don't want to just crush the crap out of the first one we try. So here's our dummy round. And yeah, just a little bit of resistance at the top. That looks freaking sweet. I think that's just about sufficient on our crimp actually. We're just grabbing into the bullet there, but we're not distorting it. Test it in the plunker. Beautiful sound, listen to that. Oh yes, hello Mr. Hollow Point. Wouldn't that be scary to be staring down this side of? So that's our dummy round, very nice. I think our die is set up, we locked him in. Time to run these, so let's get it. All right, so there's our last 5, and they just plunk in and out perfectly. Man, those are freaking beautiful bullets. I don't want to shoot these. And there we have it, folks. We just did the old plunker. Man, that's so satisfying. Ooh, I love that sound. Yeah, so smooth. Yes, sir. Ooh, that's beautiful. Ooh, magic trick. Look at that. Okay, anyways, these are amazing. Check it out. 5.2-ish grains of Hodgdon 700X there. And that's about it for now. We're just going to keep loading stuff up here. I'm going to try to be posting more often. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm going to try to be posting more often here in the near future. So thanks for hanging out, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.